Hey everybody, Subby here, and today on the Geek channel we are discussing Candyland, the board game. What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean I promised to talk about 40K? That's a very complicated subject. I don't want to talk about it. Hey everybody, Subby here, and again, we're talking about Warhammer 40K here on TableTop Review. And this game is insane. When I say insane and I say game, I mean hobby and I mean expensively crazy. This game has so many different variants, so many different factions, so many different things that you can buy, and on top of that, the rule book can be used as a deadly weapon. It's that big. Aside from all those, however, the game is fantastic. It's a Dungeons and Dragons type game, however, minus the dungeons, minus the dragon, minus the medievalness, and throw it about 55 billion years into the future with unrealistic weapons, tanks, orcs, and everything else that a sci-fi junkie could love. Now, in this version of the game, we're actually going to be talking about Warhammer 40K Assault on Black Reach, which is arguably the best starter kit for the series. Now, this starter kit is going to effectively teach players the basic rules of the game, introduce important variants to those basic rules, provide armies and decks for the players to have a balanced war against each other, and utilize different tactics in that war. And then lastly, it's going to be affordable. That's the big thing. You don't want to go into a hobby that you're not sure you're going to be like, you're not, bleh. And the last thing is going to be that it's affordable and it's a good value for your money. Okay? Because you don't want to get into a hobby and then find out, oh, I just spent $300 on all these figures and I hate the game. So, yeah, basically, it's probably a good thing that we start with the starter kit. That being said, the mini campaign book gradually introduced new players to the basics of moving, shooting, and fighting. Now, I'm not going to get into the rules because Warhammer 40K has books, and I mean books, on rules. So if you're interested in this game at all, I recommend picking up the starter kit, going over the rules, going over the game, and seeing if you really like it, because this can take a lot of time and a lot of money put into it. Although the outcome is amazing, it's probably something you don't want to dive head into without trying it out first. Now, although that Black Reach is an amazing starter kit, it does have some pressing issues. One is the point of imbalance. The Marines are severely overpowered compared to the orcs in this campaign. And because of that, who's ever playing the orcs doesn't make it very much fun for them. So a new player could possibly be turned off on a game or a hobby that they really enjoy just for the simple fact that this starter kit, the orcs are underpowered. Now, although it does have a bad point to it and an imbalancing issue, this starter kit is great. It's a good value for your money, and it's an excellent teaching tool. So again, the balance does hurt, but it's basically allowing people to get into the hobby for a good value price and allow them to learn all the basics of the game before they start shelling out more money. And these rule books cost $85 per edition. And they're up to the 7th edition. So somebody who started very early is probably going to have sunk a lot more money into something than somebody who started like in the 7th edition, which they're currently on now. So, again, before you go out and spend hundreds of dollars on this game that you might enjoy, try the starter kit. And although, yes, the Marines are overpowered in the starter kit, it's still a great way to start. Read the rules, find out if you're going to like it, because these hobby enthusiasts who play this game, and I call them hobby enthusiasts because the amount of detail that goes into some of these die casts, some of these sets, some of these vehicles is insane. These people go all out, and these are gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous items. What I'm saying is that you're going to want to take your time, get a starter kit, make sure that you like this before you go in. Because again, this is going to be something that you're going to sink a lot of time, money, and effort into. And if you don't like the game, you're going to be very disappointed when your pocketbook, check, wallet, I'm not good with words, is empty. And you don't like the game. That being said, this is an awesome game and something I could see myself sinking a lot of money, a lot of time, and a lot of effort, and totally losing my YouTube career over, because this game is awesome. It has so many different factions. It's not just humans and orcs, it's swarms, it's everything. It's so cool. And the fact is that you can have so many campaigns. People create campaigns just like they do for Dungeons and Dragons, and these it's like an all-out war. It's awesome, but fanboyism aside, it's something that you really have to think about before you go headfirst into. That being said, again, this is something I could see myself losing a lot of sleep, a lot of money, and a lot of time over, because it looks and it is that much fun. Now you may be asking yourself, well, how do people who are in Warhammer 40k already, just like Dungeons & Dragons, how do they view this starter kit? This one in particular. Well, all the reviews that I've read on this starter kit by seasoned veterans of the game ranked it outstanding, blanking awesome. Tons of great reviews. There were a few bad ones, and again, the balance issue came into mind, but the campaigns are awesome, and it's definitely going to get somebody who's interested in it into it, and it's going to give you a starter kit. So, like, you'll have the figures, you'll have the vehicles, you'll have the weapon outlines, and yes, there are weapon outlines, there's tons of stuff. It's crazy. I can't even go over it all because it just blows my mind. Now, the only downfall of getting this Assault on Black Reach is that this starter kit is a little bit on the older side of this series. And for that, they no longer make this particular starter kit. And because of that, this starter kit can be quite expensive. It's not on Amazon. I found it on a few craft and hobby game geek websites, and it was about $170. On eBay, I saw one listed sealed for $375, meaning that this would be one of the most expensive board games that I've ever had on my show to date. That being said, my recommendation for you is, if you do want to start, obviously, don't go with Assault on Black Reach. Find a starter kit that is more recent, and you'll probably be able to jump in at around $100-ish. All in all, I give this game a solid A-, because although everything is awesome about it and the starter kits are great to get people to jump in, there are a lot of imbalance issues with these starter kits, and they usually focus heavily on one faction rather than the other in these campaigns, and kind of takes away from the battle and from getting more people in. It should be a fair battle between both factions in starter kits, because when you want to play, you want to get your friend to play, and you guys can be nerdy together and and high five and have nerd high fives and all this other stuff that I do with my friends. But unfortunately, it's not like that, and it's very one-sided, which ends up being a shame. But all in all, A-, Very awesome starter kit, and I'm sure every single other starter kit that they provide is very, very similar and very, very good with the campaigns. That's all the time that we have for today. I've been iSubby. This is the Geek Network, the one, the only Geek Network, I think. Adam, what are you doing? Like, comment, subscribe down below. We'll see you guys here next time on Tabletop Review.